I missed my girlfriend's mom's funeral because of finals week, and now our relationship is destroyed. I was studying about 7 hours away from where my girlfriend lived. We had been together for 2 years when her mother suddenly passed away after a short illness. The very morning it happened, she called me crying. I dropped absolutely everything, caught the first available bus, and stayed with her for nearly a whole week. The real problem came after. The following week was finals week, and I happened to have an exam on the exact day of the funeral. I tried to reschedule it, but the only available slot was Tuesday morning, which forced me to sacrifice studying on Monday for another subject. Although in hindsight, I should have just risked failing. At that point, I had already lost a valuable week and was on the verge of a breakdown. When I talked to her and told her I wouldn't be able to attend the funeral, she replied with a dry, "I understand." I went back to university and tried to focus. I even started looking for a job at her city so I could spend the summer there, spending money on bus tickets for an in-person interview. We talked daily and video called, but I noticed she was quieter, saying "I love you" less and less. I asked her several times if something was wrong, and she always chalked it up to depression over the loss of her mother. I just focused on apologizing for not being at the funeral, and she kept repeating the same phrase, "I understand," until the day of the funeral arrived. That morning she sent me a message, "You should be here." I apologized again, explaining that it was impossible for me, and her response froze my blood. "You could be. I would have done anything to be there for you." I panicked. I tried to defend myself by mentioning how stressed I was about the exams and the money spent on bus tickets for the interview. Huge mistake. Her reaction was damning. She forbade me to travel and dropped the bomb that she needed a break from the relationship. I sent her a wall of text apologizing, begging for her forgiveness one day, and she slammed the door shut with a phrase that still echoes in my head, "I will never forgive you for this." She emotionally shut me out and left me completely lost. Update from months later. A few months have passed, and I feel I need to close this chapter. I know many will judge me, and believe me, no insult or criticism you can think of is worse than what I've already told myself. I was an idiot. I failed when she needed me most, and I know it. After that episode, I decided to travel to see her anyway. It was Mother's Day weekend. I knew it would be extremely hard for her, and I thought it was better to be there even if she didn't want me, than to be absent when she supposedly needed me. To my surprise, she agreed to see me. I stayed a few days, we talked, and I tried to make up for it. Things seemed to be improving. But right before catching the bus back, she made it clear she was still deeply hurt and didn't know if our relationship had a future. Then she traveled to the UK for a memorial service and stayed there for weeks, caring for her grandmother. I tried to support her from afar, writing her letters in a special journal so as not to burden her with my own insecurities. When she returned to the United States, the distance became unbearable. One day, after drinking some alcohol, she sent me super loving messages, but suddenly changed her tone and broke up with me, mentioning that the wound from the funeral was still open and that her family didn't fully accept me. Even so, life took a turn. Weeks later, she came to my college town to see some friends. We went to a wedding together, gave each other another chance, and had an incredible weekend. But this is where I ruined it all over again. During a conversation about secrets, I confessed something unforgivable. I had told a very close friend one of her deepest, darkest secrets. Miraculously, she processed it with maturity. But weeks later, in another lapse of clumsiness and dishonesty, I admitted to her that I had also told one of my roommates. That broke whatever little was left. Shortly after, upon noticing the absolute ice in her calls, we talked again, and as expected, we broke up for good. She told me she loved me, that I had been the perfect boyfriend these past few weeks, and that she tried with all her might to forgive me, but the accumulated betrayal was too heavy. She couldn't heal. Now we're trying to be friends. It has been 2 weeks since then. She insists on maintaining contact as friends, while I still want to be more than that. I know the relationship is completely dead, and there's no turning back, but it hurts deeply to accept that my own selfishness and mistakes ended up destroying the only thing that truly mattered.